The ayes have it. All items have been approved with the exception of 12 and 13, noting the abstention of Alderman Nicholson on 14. What are your wishes regarding item 12? Motion to approve by Alderman Ronnie Scannell, seconded by Alderman Mark Stoyer. Alderman Scannell?
Yes, Your Honor. We held this up for council because we wanted to get some more information. We got that information, so I'd just like to make a motion to approve. We wanted to get more information about some of the businesses they have. There hasn't been any problem with any businesses they have been running, except for a little bit of problem with one near Milwaukee, because it's near Milwaukee. I don't expect them to have any problem. There are other businesses to be run here, like the other businesses. I see no other reason to not approve this, so I make the motion to approve.
Right. So we have an amendment offered to approve this. Is there a second?
Must fail from a second then, Mayor.
Must.
Motion to deny.
All right.
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion by Alderman Nicholson and a second by Alderman Nenning to deny item 12. Alderman Nicholson, do you want to speak on that?
No, Mayor.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, what happened is, okay, I'm gonna clear it all and start over because this is what was left from the last one.
All right. So the motion on the floor right now is to amend number 12 to deny. And that's what we're talking about. And we'll begin with Alderman Moore.
Your Honor, this is obviously not a business, I think, that anybody supports. Nobody wants to put their name behind an approval on this, but we have sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution. And we don't have any justification in denying this, and we would be violating our oath if we did. As much as all of us, I guess I can't speak for everybody, I don't know, but look, nobody wants to put their name behind this business. That's all there is to it. I speak for everybody on that. I certainly don't want to. I would abstain if I had any kind of a reason to do so, but we can't have 12 abstentions either. We have to uphold the Constitution. We have sworn an oath to it. We have to pass this and just do our jobs on this one. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderperson Dorff?
Thank you. So at committee, I voted no on this, and I had two reasons at committee. One was a legitimate reason, one was not a legitimate reason, and I'll talk about the legitimate reason first. Legitimately, I was concerned because there was a school down the street, and I contacted the school district, spoke with the superintendent, checked with the president of the school board, and the school district is not taking a position on this. They have had no problems with this business in the past, so they're not taking a position. The not legitimate reason was I don't approve of this business. I feel it's an exploitation of females. And as a woman myself, I absolutely do not want to vote yes on this. However, I went to legal. I tried to find a legal reason why I could vote no. And constitutionally, there isn't one, unfortunately. I hate having to vote yes on this, but ethically, I have to vote yes on this because that's what my job is to do. There's no legal reason for me to be able to vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Tom Slottick?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess I would echo the last two speakers. The law department did a good job, I thought, of summarizing in their letter to us on what basis we have to decide on these applications. I'm going to presume here that the Green Bay Police Department has investigated the applicants qualifications and have determined that they are qualified, and that the health department inspection division has inspected the premises and that the premises qualify, so we don't have any legal basis. All we do is invite a lawsuit if we don't approve this. So we need to approve it. As distasteful as all of us find this business, we really don't have an option here.
Thank you. Alderman Scannell?
I'll make a positive statement here. All right, this is adult entertainment, and adult entertainment is legal, and I believe it is much better. Adult entertainment has been around forever, and it is much better when it is run legally than illegally. This is not a bad thing. I mean, there may be problems, I understand, there may be some squeamishness, but it's much better that this is regulated, that we're in control of this, than if we had this kind of activity running around underground. So I'll make a positive statement there, and I'd also like to make a motion to open the floor.
Why?
Oh, well, then we don't, okay. Maybe we don't need to, all right.
The motion on the floor right now is to deny. What's that?
Should have my light on.
I have Slottick, Alderman Weary. All right. Alderman Nicholson.
Thank you. The reason why I made the motion to deny, remember when this business was established? How many meetings and arguments did we go through? I believe Dwayne, Nicholson, and Zimmer were the only ones. The rest of the city council were not here. They don't know what happened. That business was placed illegally, broke the ordinance of that Main Street, Main Street neighborhood. Basically, I talk, I mean, this isn't Chicago, but that is way out of left field. What I'm talking about, this business was placed illegally, broke the ordinances and the Main Street agreement. Because when the Tropics closed down with, can't remember the gentleman's name. Okay. I can't remember his name, and I can't hear Bill. But we broke our own ordinance to have this establishment. And I don't know the details, but it was so many, how big it can be and the entertainment, and it was just a mess. I mean, Mary, you remember that. So that's why I'm voting against this.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Chris Weary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have two questions. The first would be regarding the memorandum of understanding. And perhaps Attorney Chavez, that is still in full effect, that memorandum of understanding carries over to the new owners?
Yes, so my understanding, I've had Joe Faulds working on this, and the MOU is in place. What will happen is it will have to transfer over to the new owners. Basically, they'll just, those requirements will fall over into a new agreement or an assumption, essentially.
So that's a yes. There's no way around that, because that was, I
Oh,
want to
actually, no,
yes.
I'm getting a response from Joe right now. He says, no, not yet. That's what the
Then I
video
can't
is
vote
having
for
them.
this. That was a big part of approving that.
Oh, no,
that
I'm
initial
sorry.
one.
I was asking if there was video feed, and I think he was responding to that. So, no, there's no video feed yet, but yes, we do have the memorandum in place.
So it will?
Yes, my apologies.
Because there's a lot of provisions in there that, the use of the building, certain areas and things of that nature that must follow through. And if that is not going to, we can't transfer it. And you're telling me that it will.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's good. That's a good first start. And then secondly, Chief, I noticed, and it was a nice summary done by Captain Florence. In his notes regarding with West Allis, with Heartbreakers, the officer down in West Allis, Lieutenant Safting, suggested that if the group was able to come to Green Bay, that strict requirements be placed upon the establishment to resolve video issues about not being able to obtain video because no one could understand how to work it, which obviously is a bunch of malarkey. But in looking at the security, 1.4 security, Oval Office will preserve for a period of 60 calendar days any image obtained from the video surveillance system and/or identification card reader, which can be used upon lawful and timely request by the city of Green Bay. Is that enough, or should we say, this information and video surveillance footage must be provided within 24 hours of said request? That be something fine to put in. Otherwise, it leaves it open and, they could drag their feet for weeks.
Sir, I'd be certainly happy to entertain that. I think that would be a fine addition to this, if we could get it within 24 hours. What we found is most of the time, we can get cooperation from anybody, especially we work with them in advance of needing it, let them know what the protocol is, and we have people we can call in that can work virtually any system. So if there's an incident that occurs, our forensic specialists can come in and pull video from any system that I've ever seen. So I don't think it'd be a problem. Our plan is to work with the new owners closely so that we ensure that we can get quick access to these things. If you want to codify that in the memorandum of understanding, I'm fine with that.
Okay, I would like to add that. I think you should hope for the best, obviously, but plan for the worst. And so I would like to just make a motion to add that to the security plan, and then hopefully it'll be accepted by the new owners. I think that's fairly easily done.
I would second that amendment.
All right, so we'll give kind of an odd motion, because the motion is to deny.
Oh, you're right, yeah. We have
And
to resolve that.
I
first.
understand you want to
Oh,
amend this,
I
but,
forgot. So let's take care of the deny first.
okay, and I'll
There's
come
no
right
need
back
for it
to
if it's
you.
denied, yeah.
Do you have something else, Tom?
I did, but it's already been talked on.
All right.
There'll be different ways.
Alderman Gazima. Hang on, you guys.
Thank you, Your Honor. At the committee meeting, we were told that these folks own 4 or 5 other establishments. Is that correct? Are they all in Walworth County?
I understand there's 3 of them, sir. Darien, Illinois, and Walworth County. One in the Blue Sapphire Gentlemen's Club in Menasha, and Heartbreakers down in West Allis.
Well, the thing that the committee specifically asked is to talk to the authorities in those areas to see what, if any, or multiple problems they may have had. Now, I don't know unless I'm not reading the report correctly here, all it's showing is the complaints from one place called Show Palace.
Right, sir. My understanding is they weren't able to get the list of complaints in a timely manner from these other ones. They weren't able to access the records, so they talked with the individuals at the police agency in that area and asked them what their reputation was or any issues or problems they had with these particular clubs. In general, they did have problems with these clubs in the past. This particular individual bought these clubs or took over ownership of these clubs, and they generally said that there was an improvement in the cooperation with the police department and an improvement in or a decrease in the number of calls for service at that area. They were only able to get the exact records from one agency, which was the Show Place in Darien, the Show Palace in Darien.
Well, Chief, I just don't feel like that's a strong enough answer. I mean, Walworth County could send us a list of problems with the establishment, and you're telling me the other ones couldn't provide that?
Correct. They couldn't provide that in the time that we needed it in order to have it for this
Then we
meeting,
need a
sir.
little more time. I mean, that was the main thing that the committee was concerned about, and of course, I look at this one, and even this one, there's one of prostitution some years ago. I don't know if all these are, sometimes is it just the address or whatever, but there's all kinds of stuff in here. Robbery, firearms, I don't know if it was inside or outside or whatever, but, these operations are famous for indirect or direct prostitution. And I guess that, I think this has to be sent back till we get the information. We've got 60 days to either approve or deny it. If we don't deny it within 60 days, at least what I'm understanding from our attorney's office, is that it's granted automatically. But, I mean, the due diligence was only done by one county. And I want to see the due diligence of all of them before I make this decision, because, we're going from local ownership, like it or not. Those people lived here, and I know some of them said they were going to move here now. I don't know. But I was most interested in what, if any, problems were there with the clientele and the various service workers that come and go at these establishments. So I would make a motion to send it back until we have time to get the information we'd asked for. That'd be my motion.
All right, so we have clear the board. We have a motion by Alderman Zima, second by Alderman Story to refer this item back. Anything else, Alderman Zima?
No, that's it.
All right, turn your light off. Alderman Nicholson, do you want to speak on referral? Did you want to speak on referral, Alderman Nicholson? Turn your light off. All right. Anybody? All right. Go ahead.
Motion open the floor.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Bill Galvin to open the floor to hear from interested parties. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, the floor is open. City Council, we are now discussing item 12, which is to refer without recommendation pending further review from the staff an application for an adult entertainment license for GB Entertainment, which is located at 1100 Main Street, currently the Oval Office. Is there anyone here tonight who would like to speak to that specific item? Just come up to the podium if you state your name and address.
Hi, Jennifer DeCaster, 5696 School Drive, Green Bay, 54313. We have been working on this project for the better part of 3 years to sell this club to these owners. We selected these owners because they had the intent to come to Green Bay, to bring other businesses to Green Bay, and to make Green Bay a home. We had several other offers over the last couple of years, and instead of going to a publicly traded chain, we said that this would be a better fit for Green Bay. We take this very seriously. Not only does this group agree, they have submitted an exact copy of our security plan and our business plan. We have already been working with them on training them exactly how we run this facility with all of our policies, all of our staff, and so on and so forth. So these people are going to come in and everything is going to stay the same. The only thing is I'm not going to be signing the paychecks anymore. It's going to be a different company. We are actually partnering with this company on future endeavors. We look forward to working with them. We brought them to Green Bay thinking that this was going to be a fit. They want to own this club. We want to not run it anymore. We are asking you to transfer the license. We're not asking you to grant a new one. We're not asking for any of these things. It's a transfer. The police department has said they passed, and it wasn't a problem. When we came in and you granted this license to us, we didn't run a club before. And you have to understand that things that you see from these other areas were prior to this prostitution thing that you're talking about. That was prior to their ownership. We would not be giving, or I should say selling, this facility to someone that we didn't think was going to run it the way we want it run. We didn't make this decision lightly. Green Bay has been my home. I was born here, my father was born here, and my grandfather was born here. This is supposed to close. This business deal is supposed to close the middle of July. We timely brought it. The police passed their business plan, passed their security plan. They've agreed on the MOU. You don't have a reason that you can't vote yes. You have to vote yes, because everything is there. The police have told you. They believe that they are satisfactory. Again, I'm asking you, please welcome these people, these businessmen, into our city. They have intentions of doing amazing things in this city. We believe that they are going to run this club at the same level as us and even better. or we wouldn't be bringing them in. If it doesn't pass tonight, then this deal falls through. It has to pass tonight. I am asking you, please, to allow our business and purchase agreement to not be put on the back burner because you want to see additional things that the police have already said. We feel comfortable. And I can tell you, at least once a week, the police ask me for video, not of inside my club, and maybe once a week is a little much. Once a month, for sure. And it's roads. It's all different things. They've asked me to put in additional cameras to help them with neighbors. We've done that. These new owners want to do the same thing. I wouldn't have agreed to partner with them. I wouldn't agree to be training them if that wasn't the case. Please pass this tonight. Thank you.
Hang on, Jennifer, I got a question for you. Alderman Dwayne does.
Yeah, Jennifer, thank you for coming. I don't have a problem with it, but you already answered my question about the deadline. You know, the importance, if there's a timeline that you have to get. When is that timeline?
It has to close before the 17th of July.
Okay, let me just ask, if you may, when is the next P&W meeting? Hold on, you'll see where I'm going with this.
So give us final approval?
When, is it gonna be before the 17th?
It'll be the 10th.
Okay. I'd like to see us make a motion to give, and we've done this before, that this council, with the, when it comes to P&W, that way, Alderman Zima, the question she had asked, Chief Smith, do you think you can have those things answered by July 10th?
Certainly.
And so, can I make that motion, or do we have to,
You can-
take a vote? I mean, because it's gonna
We're not in
take,
regular order of
If I,
business here.
Oh,
if
yeah,
I
yeah.
may,
I apologize, I'm done.
if I may, it has to close by then. They have certain requirements,
No, I
like the
understand that.
transfer of license has to be done in advance so that we can move forward with other things. So if you say, oh, we have to wait until July 10th, there's too much work to be done. I mean, if any of you have ever done the closing of a business, the transfer of real estate and all of those things, you're giving me 7 days, not even. Because you're gonna pass it Monday night and I have to close by Friday. I mean, the police department has said they have no issues with these people. Why do you? They are good people. We did our due diligence.
Okay.
Your Honor,
And
I just want-
the
I hear
attorney
what you're
for them is here as well.
Yeah. I just have one more question, Jennifer. You don't- Is there a possibility of a special meeting?
Well, always.
I'm just asking because I'm trying to do the best I can here. To weigh out all the options. Okay, I'm done.
We
I'm
could do a
done.
special meeting, but what kind of time, how much time would you need before the 15th?
Just a
The deal
second.
is, the deal,
Just a-
if it
I have
doesn't
a
pass
point of order.
tonight, the deal is
Well,
done.
either we return to regular order of business.
Right.
He was asking her,
There-
he was
I
asking
agree.
her.
Well,
He was
Your
asking her a
Honor,
question.
I just asked a question.
Their
He's asking her a
requirement, their
question.
requirements to close and our legal requirements to pass it have nothing to do with each other. That's their problem, not our problem.
called-
I just asked.
We're
Maybe just,
within our-
maybe just a little bit of customer service, so I don't think they're totally not related, but let me just
Well, I
finish
know
with
they've
her.
been, they've contributed to your campaign very heavily.
Well, is that why this?
All right, do you have anything else for the
Is that a
attorney?
lie? Is that a lie? Oh, well, the mayor's,
I
he's
mean-
out defending the people that,
I'm done. Your
But I put money into the city as well. Do you know that? I put money
All
into
right,
the
don't
city,
go
sir.
there, don't take his bait. Don't take his bait. All right, anybody else want to speak to this? All right, come on up. Thank you.
John Fuchs, FUCHS, 13500 Watertown Plank Road, Elm Grove. I'm the attorney representing the purchasers of both the real estate and the business. Two things I thought I would bring to your attention. One is that while we agree the MOU runs with the land, we told the city attorney's office this morning, if you want to redo it, we would do that. Also, we discovered the inspections hadn't been done as represented. Much thanks to Jennifer, they were done. An interesting aspect of this, I've been statutory counsel to probably, I don't know how many communities, over 42 years. And usually that helps me in addressing common councils because I know what you like to hear and what you don't like to hear. By the way, in those 42 years, the record for a common council meeting is 5:12 a.m., and I think Green Bay holds enough records. Going back to the idea of the police reports, I don't want to address you as a municipal attorney. I want to address you as somebody who's represented police for that amount of time as well. In fact, there was a time I represented Chief Haggerty in Milwaukee as a personal attorney, the Supervisors Union, and the MPA, and the city attorney made the comment, will I have any input? My point in bringing that up is if you've lived with police for 4 decades, as I have, when this chief or any of his officers calls another department about a gentleman's club and inquires if they're a problem or not, those police departments know if they're a problem or not. I mean, I've never met a cop yet that would have to even go walk back to his computer. And Chief, just shut me down if I'm wrong about that. You know who are problems in this community, and it's much larger than a lot of the others. What concerns me is this. I made the comment, there are things that you don't want to hear as a council. And so I don't really know how to address you. For once in my career, I truly don't know how to address you. But the thing that concerns me the most, you have no reason to deny this. You just don't have any reason to deny it. If you personally don't like gentlemen's clubs, it's not a legitimate reason to deny it. All inspections have been done, all applications are in order, all disclosures have been made. We've got the ownership here, the future agent here. We are working with Jennifer. We've talked to your police department, developed a plan with them. Everything is in order. If it is just a matter of you don't like it, then you have to ask yourself, what is your reason to deny this, a legal reason? And, you know, I came here hoping to say, yep, we're going to do as good a job as the Oval Office did. Gary and Jennifer DeCaster set a bar that's really high, and they do run this business as diligently as any I've seen. We're going to match it. We're going to try and exceed it. And instead I find myself on the defensive for no good reason that I've heard and saying to you, you really don't have a reason to deny it. I would rather, much rather have addressed you and said, these people operate 3 clubs successfully. Every one of them they improved because I represented the prior owners of some of them, and believe me, they improved them. They will not improve this from anything I've seen what the DeCasters do, but they will match them. They will make that mark, and you will have a well-run club. And I would ask you to consider the fact that your staff, your clerk's office, your police department, they all did their jobs as well or better than any community I've appeared in. And they've reported to you the inspections did get done today. There is just no reason to deny this. And people aren't elected to take an oath to do what they want to do. They take an oath to do what the law says they should do. So I would urge you to consider whether or not these are good applicants, whether or not there's any reason to deny them, because candidly, there is not, and I haven't heard anything even remotely resembling one. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Can I ask the gentleman a question, please?
Yeah, hang on, Andy. Go ahead.
Do you know what the motion is on the floor?
Your motion is to deny.
No, it isn't. It's referral. Correct?
The motion on the floor right now is to, let me be clear on that, is to refer this item back. And then there was some talk, but the motion wasn't to give P&W full granting authority. The lady said that that's not enough time to close the deal, so she would like a vote tonight.
I don't know the answer to your
But the
question,
motion
Alderman.
is to refer. This
Right.
gentleman stated 6 times, and I counted 6 times of denial. He is totally wrong. It's referral.
The
And
motion right
as an
now is to
attorney,
refer.
you know what that means, correct? Thank you.
You're the only council I've seen makes one motion, doesn't vote on it, and then makes another. I don't know what your motion is, sir.
Okay,
It's referral. I'm just
And thank you so much for your efforts.
yeah, hang on, just wait. Oh, come on, you guys. Yeah, next, well, the motion is to refer, and that supersedes, a previous motion. We got-
Lynn Austin, 1449 Morrow Street. I live just down the street from this place, and I would really like to encourage my leadership to be very, very careful when you make decisions, because our neighborhood is always impacted by these kind of businesses, and, you know, nobody likes to pay a lot of tax dollars for police and all of that kind of stuff. But really, you need to be reminded, this is a vice. This is not something that is really a helpful thing for our community. This attracts a lot of sexual predators. And I worked with women who were trying to escape out of prostitution for 8 years in the inner city in Chicago. So I can spot prostitutes, and we've got them in my neighborhood. Now, I don't like at night even driving past that place. So I know, you know, the whole Main Street area, a lot of shops in that are, you know, shop spaces empty. And these kind of places don't really help neighborhoods. Plus, one other thing I just want to bring up, if you guys are gonna have this be referred, maybe somebody could look into the history of this, because a real estate man that was selling a building in my neighborhood happened to stop by when I was out in the yard. And he asked me when we were just talking about the neighborhood, and he said, how did they manage to get that renovation done on that building in the first place? Because his relatives used to own the building, and he said it's in a floodplain, and they were just supposed to only invest a certain amount of money when they restored the building or renovated the building, and he said they went way over what was allowable. So I think sometimes, you know, some fishy stuff goes on with some of these businesses, and whenever you're dealing with something like alcohol or gambling, or that's not a gentleman's club, no gentleman would go to a club like that, you know, and please protect your citizens. You have a lot of women, young girls, and I think you should be very, very careful. Years ago, when Mayor Jaden was here, the city attorney said the city had never been able to take a liquor license away, and I helped them do their first one, and now they do that occasionally. So sometimes you just need to show some courage and, you know, do the right thing. Like, let's raise the standard here for our city. These kind of businesses do not help a community. They just bring it down.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to return to regular order by Alderman. All
I was
right.
gonna speak if I could, Mayor.
Yep, go ahead, Joe.
Do I need to say my address and name again?
Please.
Okay, Joel Denny, 3283 Peterson Road. All right, I'm married. All right, I don't visit this place. However, as Alderman Moore and others have stated, there is no legal reason for you guys to deny this license. Absolutely none. And if we're gonna be, I'd rather us do this, the right thing, than get sued for probably millions of dollars. I'm assuming that's how much we would get sued for. And I don't really think that the city right now, after hearing what we heard tonight, is in a position to be sued for millions of dollars. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Can I add one thing, Mayor?
You can add one thing.
If you don't allow the new owners, you don't close this business, it will just continue under the current owners.
Right.
I don't know if people are aware of that.
Okay. All right, so you made the motion.
No, he did not. I
To-
believe Zima and then Story.
No, I know that. To return to regular order.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
All right, second by Joe. All in favor of returning to regular order, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. We're back in regular order. There's a motion on the floor right now to refer, that was motion by Stoyer and Alderman Zima. Alderman Zima?
Thank you, Your Honor. You know, people hire attorneys to come and represent them, and if you don't have an attorney on your side, sometimes you don't have the same representation. The committee is just doing their due diligence, and I think that's the reason there was a second and to refer it back, because we asked for what we received from Walworth County, but we did not receive it from anyplace else. And the convenience of the owner wanting to sell, whether it's this month, next month, or another, or if that's really their problem, not our problem. They can't give us the Rush Act on doing our due diligence. And that's all this is about, is doing our due diligence, and that's the reason for the motion.
Right.
I spot things in there, and okay, maybe it was from a former owner, I don't know. I guess I want to be able to look at all of them, and, because I want to make sure.
Okay.
So,
right.
that's the reason for it, and that's the reason for the motion.
Thank you. So the motion, use the board, the motion on the floor is to refer. A yes refers it back, a no keeps it here, and we'll deal with it tonight. So it's 7 yeses, 5 noes, so that has been referred back. I mean, I can clear the board. Did anybody, Randy, did anybody want to add to granting authority, or you just want to deal with this in the end of July?
I would object to that anyway.
Okay.
It has to be the full consent of the council.
No, don't tell me. We do that all the time. We give, no, don't say that. You can say you may not like it, but
But that was with the agreement.
we do that all the time. We give full granting authority to the committee.
I thought the ordinance said that it had to be with the complete approval of the council. I would refer to our city attorney.
The complete approval of the council would be at this point, so if you're sending it back saying it's.
No, not send it back. We already voted on that. Granting the committee approval has to be, I believe, a unanimous consent. Because you're taking away the rest of the council's ability to look at it. I'm pretty certain about this.
You may be right. I'm gonna double check right now.
All right, so while she's doing that, we're gonna move on. We got 2 other items on this report. What are your wishes regarding item, was it 13, Chris? Okay,